How you doing, guys? Welcome back to Digital Dive In. We're the proper gaming talk show. It's your boy Sandsology. With me today is JayDubbs.
JayDubbs, what is going on, guys? It has been a minute. Sorry, we've been kind of dormant. This man decided to go on vacation randomly in the middle of
I
February
know.
to the
I
end of
leave.
February.
I leave for 2 weeks to Mexico. I come back, and the U.S. is not wearing any masks anymore. Russia invaded Ukraine, and gamers are being toxic online. So we're gonna talk about it. But yeah, sorry for the 2 weeks that I was away. That the channel's been kind of dark.
So
I
you
was
better
in I
apologize.
was in Mexico enjoying time with family, friends, food, and booze. So, you know. But we're back
Shame.
and we're really leaning into this whole talk show thing. So, two games came out. Well, technically 3 games came out in the last 2 weeks. We got Sifu that came out around like the week I left. Then we got Horizon Forbidden West that got great reviews, like a ton of great reviews. And then Elden
Yeah,
Ring, which just blew everything up. Like it just stole the spotlight, and that's all anyone's talking about now is Elden Ring.
talking about
But
Elden Ring. I'm talking about Shadow Warrior. Fuck Elden Ring.
but the thing is, like, there's so many. Like, I think the new toxic trait online is people review bombing games just because they don't like them on Metacritic or on Steam, on the Xbox Store, PlayStation Store. And I think that's one. I mean, if you have like legitimate complaints about a game, that's fine. That's 100% a reason to write a bad review. If either the game is bad, or it has a ton of bugs, or it's broken, whatever. There's a lot
Yeah.
of genuine reasons to give a game a bad review. But giving a game a bad review because you're either bad at the game or you don't like it or you're an Xbox fanboy and you're complaining that it's only on PlayStation is not a reason to give a game a negative review, and that's just toxic bullshit.
I think most of it is that there's one thing that's bad that might be off about the game, and somebody decides to blow it out of proportion, and then
Oh
everybody
yeah.
just rides the hate train. So it's just like the article you sent me about the review bombing. Some people were making legitimate concerns, like there's stutters,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like the PC port doesn't run as well as it should, and stuff
Hmm.
like that. But then you're taking that and giving the game a zero,
Right?
or
It's
giving it a
like
one. It's
it's
just
like
like,
okay.
well,
Bugs. Every game is going to have bugs. Every game is going to have some issues. Now
right.
the review I or the a bunch of the reviews I saw for Elden Ring, they're more along the lines of legitimate complaints about the game.
Mhm.
Whereas, like from what I saw from Horizon Forbidden West, a lot of the people who were just hating on that game and review bombing it were Xbox fanboys who were reviewing it and giving it 0 stars because it was just a PlayStation exclusive and that's it. I'm
But
like,
was that definitive? Do we? I mean, I
there,
don't
well,
know
there,
if you.
I was on a
I'm
couple
sure.
I was on a couple forums. I was looking at it on Reddit, and a lot of like people on Reddit took screenshots of a lot of the negative reviews, and it was all like, "Oh, this game is just another Sony exclusive, typical Sony exclusive." And I'm just like, and half of them were like, "I didn't even play the game." Like half of them were like admitting they didn't play the game and still reviewing, giving it like a
Mhm.
0 star. I'm like, that is such bullshit. Why you got
That
to be
is.
so toxic like that? Now, Elden Ring, there's like it's like half and half, right? Like half
Right.
of the bad reviews are like people that either just suck at the game and they're like, this game is too hard. Why would you make such a hard game? So they give it 0 stars. Now the other ones are saying like the PC port's bad. There's no ultra wide support. There's a bunch of bugs, stuff like that that are
Yeah.
legitimate complaints. Like those are legitimate complaints that yes, you can give a game a critical review because of that. 0 stars? No. I mean, just because it's missing ultra wide support on launch doesn't
Hmm.
is not a reason to give it 0 stars. All right, come on, calm down.
And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we've all had our toxicity days. I used to,
Yeah.
argue Xbox fanboys about which console is better, blah blah blah. But I don't. I think because we didn't have as much access to the internet, Like the
True.
chance for toxicity to be online wasn't as bad. Like I didn't get a smartphone till I was in
Oh
a
yeah.
junior in high school, almost at college. You know, now you got kids 9, 10 years
Oh
old
yeah,
with
exactly.
smartphones, and they don't know any better. They don't have any empathy. Like yo, I'm gonna fucking kill you because this game is delayed and I don't have anything to do with my life because I'm a child. You
Yeah,
know, like
seriously though.
so.
Yeah, no,
It's
I mean,
like
I didn't have my first smartphone until I was, God, in high school at least, maybe, because that's when
yeah.
like the My Touch first came out, like the T-Mobile iPhone thing.
Hmm.
My God, I miss
Yeah,
those
and
days.
once Android got with the smartphone era, after like
Yeah.
iPhone blew up, then that's when I got mine. So it took a minute, and even when we first had it, the internet was still shitty. Like you couldn't get on
Oh yeah,
any
I
website,
mean,
you know.
you can
So
argue that like the early days of online play were way more toxic than anything we have today. I mean, just look at like old school Modern Warfare and Halo lobbies. Like those things are like volatile as all hell.
oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
toxicity has always been part of being a gamer, but I think nowadays
Well, it's
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 more petty than anything else.
well, it was part of the competition of gaming, but when you
Yeah,
had something single player, it used to be, you know, more balanced, level-headed reviews and kind of a whole mindset behind it.
yeah,
And now
exactly.
it's yeah, like you said, it's definitely way more petty.
It is.
Uh,
It is. Like gamers getting mad over like small stuff that doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but
yeah,
they're taking it and using it as a reason to shit on an entire game. One that like specifically talking about Elden Ring, like this is one of the best reviewed games in gaming history. Like it's been getting 10 out of 10 reviews across the board. Now,
yeah,
personally, again, I'm not a Soulsborne fan, so I don't really see the appeal. Like, there's a couple of people saying that it's literally just Dark Souls put into an open world, and I can kind of see it. I can kind of see that like they're just reusing a lot of combat mechanics from other games and just throwing it
yeah,
into an open world. But I mean, again, it's a Soulsborne game. They're kind of a one trick pony, but they've also included a lot of other gaming mechanics into this game
mhm.
that from other games that they've had. So like they have a whole like jump attack now. They have a combination between which is no, I mean for a Soulsborne game that's great. Like that's never you'd
I mean,
never see that.
I know. I'm just making fun.
I
Like,
know, yeah. But like they also incorporated like the blocking from games like Sekiro and then the dodging from Dark or Bloodborne. So like, they've incorporated like basically every mechanic from every other Soulsborne game into this one.
except for force
And
powers. Where my force power was at, dog.
Force
Where's my
powers
force?
have not been in a Soulsborne game.
Fallen Order, bro.
That's not a
Fallen Order.
Soulsborne game.
That is a Souls inspired game, bro.
I
Same
mean,
mechanics.
kind
You
of.
know,
I mean,
come on, man.
kind
Where
of.
my force power is at, dog? Was my
God,
lightsaber?
it's not a it's not a FromSoft game, okay?
Okay, yeah, fair.
I mean, that's like people saying that Neo is or Nio, whatever the hell it's called, is
Neo,
like
yeah, it's Neo.
is a Soulsborne game. It's like it's Souls inspired, but it's not a FromSoft game, so it's not a Soulsborne game because it's not made by FromSoft. So
Right.
yeah,
I mean, and that's the thing. I do agree with not overhyping a game. Like we've seen other games get these high review scores.
yeah,
Namely, even before namely, you know, Metal Gear Solid 5 and Witcher 3.
yeah.
Um, Witcher 3 is probably regarded as one of the greatest games ever, and I only played a quarter of it, and I can almost attest to that. And
Yeah,
I rebought the whole Witcher series on my PC, so I'm gonna play through it
it's so
eventually
good.
and put up some analysis of it on the channel. So, but I understand that people want to kind of derail like all the extreme hypeism over the game, and people just kind of like this is the best game of all time. Like how many times have we heard that
Yeah,
before?
at a certain point,
So
people just end up hating for the sake of hating. Like, there's always that like handful of people that hate on a super popular game because they want to be edgy and different, And it's just
so it's
like
like
you're not cool. I'm sorry,
I
you're
get it,
not.
but also yeah, going out of your way to shit on it just for that reason is
Yeah, it's
also
dumb.
not
It's
okay.
dumb.
Yeah, it's really dumb. And it's just like when I say I'm not into Horizon or I'm not really in Elden Ring, I'm not saying that just because. I'm saying it
Yeah,
because
yeah. You're
those
not you're
games
not you're
just get
not saying they're
legendary.
bad games. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like people need
No.
to understand that just because you don't like a game does not mean that game is bad. Too many
Right.
people confuse their own personal opinions with like saying a game when is 100% bad. Like so many people were yelling at, games like Cyberpunk and games like, you know, literally it happens with every single game. The Last of Us 2, for example. Everyone was saying, "Oh, The Last of Us 2 is such a shitty game. I hate what they did with this character and whatnot." I'm like, just because you didn't like the story or didn't like
Doesn't mean it
the
wasn't
game
good.
doesn't mean it wasn't good. Exactly. The game, like speaking specifically about The Last of Us 2, it was gorgeous. It played amazing. It was one of the smoothest games I've ever played. Oh my god.
Like the
It was a
small details
genuinely
are great.
good game, but so many
Yeah.
people shitted on it because you had to play as Abby, Joel died, all this shit, And the same thing
I
with
mean,
Elden
yeah.
Ring. Everyone's shitting on the game, calling it a horrible game because it's so hard. I'm like, this is a FromSoft game. If you don't research this game before you buy it, don't complain when you suck.
Well, first of all, I think they've dumbed down games to make them more appealing to more novice players. Number
Well, they
one, and
actually
number
did do that
two,
with Elden Ring a bit, kind
yeah,
of,
exactly.
kind of.
They admitted that they did it. And
Yeah.
number two, it's also like gamers are now getting used to games being easier.
Yeah, they're used
So
to more games holding their hands and stuff, and FromSoft
yeah,
games will never be like that. Now they made this game slightly more accessible. Like they gave you a lot more. Like the open world really gives you more opportunities to
and
level the playing field by giving you a larger area to fight in. Whereas the older Bloodborne
I
and Dark
think
Souls and everything, you were fighting in a very condensed area, so you didn't have a whole
right.
lot of area to move around. Elden Ring, you have a huge space to move around, which automatically makes the game slightly easier by giving you more room to play in.
And that's the
But
thing.
it's still hard as all hell.
But that's the thing. Like Demon Souls games aren't even hard. The biggest battle you have to fight is the architecture of the levels.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's the biggest
exactly.
thing. That
Once you learn the move sets and everything, the games actually become playable. It's just
yeah.
each one you got to learn the game, like the moves, the mechanics, and everything, because they always
And
change.
and the hit architecture and hitboxes.
Yeah,
Hitbox. That's why
yeah.
I don't play Soulsborne games because the hitboxes are,
Oh my god, it's
like
insane.
and
It's
then you
insane.
get these giant enemies that are sweeping the screen, and you're like, dip, dodge, duck,
No, seriously though, yeah, no.
like
I saw this one whole video of this guy. It was a one of the it was a I guess either a mini boss or actual boss, but you had to fight him on your horse. And they've already said like the horse combat is kind of jank. The horse in the game is kind of jank. And that's a whole mechanic that they've never used before, so I'm not really surprised. But the funniest thing I've seen, and this is the most Souls-born thing I've ever seen, he was fighting this guy. The guy was one hit away, but he was also one hit away. And he was locked onto the guy. He was riding around, and then all of a sudden he comes around the corner. It was in this wide open field, right? And then this zombie with a fucking torch just and he dies. I'm just like, oh, I can feel your heartache from here, my guy. Oh my god, I would be so mad about that. But I'm like, that is the most Soulsborne thing I've ever seen. And that shit happens out of nowhere. Like you wreck this boss, and then you get destroyed by these little tiny minion dudes
yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
oh my god, it's such a pain in the ass.
I was say touching on Horizon more recently, like I've heard even people saying that they didn't like the protagonist, they didn't like Aloy, and people were
Yeah,
like,
right.
people were like, "What are you sexist?" It's like, no, I just didn't know. I mean, this is for people that genuinely didn't like Aloy. And it's
Yeah,
just
and
like
that's fine.
I didn't like Aloy, and they're like,
You
"What are
can
you
not like
sexist,
the
man? You don't,
protagonist. Like
you
that's
know,
fine.
you don't like female protagonists? What's wrong with you, bro?" It's like, nah, man, maybe they just didn't like the
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
Or,
You know. But
yeah.
the thing that pisses me off is the people who are like, "Why does Aloy have a beard?" Because they were showing off the graphical fidelity of the game and showed that you could see the freaking peach fuzz on her face. And here's the thing:
Hey,
women have hair on their face.
I was about
Not
to
all of
say,
it is shaved off. Okay, like
This
there's
is
hair all over your body. You just can't really see it. There's little
right.
tiny fuzz all over your body.
Like
Like,
you know,
it's not a beard. Calm the fuck down. Like, what the shit? I'm like,
also
I hate it.
It's like post-apocalyptic. There are no razors. There is no
That
like.
too. Like, what the fuck?
There's
I'm
no
like,
hiding.
I doubt her shaving her, like, her hair or cutting her hair is like, the top of her priorities right now when she got to,
Right.
has these killer robots going after her and shit. So,
Exactly. Versus now it's like, oh man, I gotta go to get my wax appointment. I don't want nobody to know that I have facial hair. It's like,
yeah,
all right,
right?
that's cool,
Oh
but
my God.
I
Yeah.
don't want to see it up close.
But no, I think just in general, review bombing games like this is just something that needs to stop. Like, it's not productive. It doesn't add anything to the gaming community. If anything, it makes the rest of us look like assholes and
And then on the other
uncivilized
hand,
douchebags.
yeah, that's true.
And it's not needed. Like, seriously, the user score for Horizon Forbidden West got dragged down so low. And if someone's looking at buying a game and they look at, like, the meta score by critics is going to be high, but then they look at the user score and it's brought down, they just might take that at face value and be like, oh, okay, maybe this game is not as good as all the critics are saying. I'm not going to try this game out. When instead of they actually looked at the reviews and looked deeper and as to why that review was so low, and they saw, oh, it's just a bunch of angry gamers being douchebags. That's why the game has a low score, not because it's a bad game. It's like, come on. Not everyone's going to take the time to look into those reviews.
But that's the issue. Product purchase is not a one-trick pony. Whenever you're looking at any kind of,
But not everyone does that. I mean, look at all the people that are buying Elden Ring because of the hype, because it got so many good reviews, and then not looking into the game whatsoever, not knowing what the game is, and then saying, like, complaining online, like, this game is so hard. Why is this game so hard? I'm like, it's because it's a FromSoft game, guy. Like, come on.
If I'm looking to get Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and I'm just like, all right, let me just look at reviews, versus doing research. I can take the reviews at face value and know that, maybe this or isn't, depending on the game, that, like, take Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. This is something that's for me or not. Yeah. I already know the game's terrible, but maybe I'm looking at a review to see if there was an update or if there was something that they changed or updated or something from the game from a user review. Then I'll take it at face value. But if I'm looking at a brand new game or something that I personally have some kind of interest in, I'm going to do my research and not take any reviews at face value whatsoever besides maybe one or two. You can't just say, oh, I'm just going to, for all my reviews, I'm just going to go to Metacritic and look at reviews. That's not going to help. You're going to have to do your research on games, if that's something that you want to purchase, especially if it's brand new, $70, $60, you're going to want to know, do your own research and use your own bias versus somebody else's. You got to learn when to use your own bias and your own discretion and when to use somebody else's and look to a review for a definitive opinion, and
exactly.
I think, on the customer side, people rely too much on these Metacritic and user scores.
They do, yeah. I mean, I haven't used Metacritic in years to, like, decide whether something's good or bad. I even stopped using, and this is the same thing it's not only with, like, games, the same thing that happens with movies. I mean, you see this happening on Rotten Tomatoes constantly with, like, movies getting review bombed when they're not bad movies. Like, I think Eternals got review bombed. There's a couple other movies, but Eternals comes to mind because that was one of the most recent Marvel ones.
Batman is getting not getting review bombed, but Batman is getting stupid mixed reviews.
Yeah. I can't wait for that movie, by the way.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go see it on. I'm going to see it on Friday night.
I'm seeing Uncharted this weekend, and I'm seeing Batman next weekend with my brother. Hey, there's a lot. This is a whole other conversation, but Uncharted, I've heard, like, a lot of mixed things about Uncharted. If you watch the movie not in relation to the games, it's a really, really good movie. If you treat the movie as a prequel to the games, it's a crappy movie. So,
It,
and they already said, and but no, no,
like,
but they already said that this movie has nothing to do with the games. It's completely separate. It's its own
it,
prequel to its own Uncharted universe. It's not in
it
relation to the
doesn't
games.
matter.
I mean,
The
it
character,
does.
the casting was awful. It's awkward,
Did
and
you watch the movie?
the casting is
Did you
awful.
watch the movie?
No,
Exactly. So you can't say anything until you've actually seen it.
you can look at the
That
trailer and
no
see
no
the
no no
awful
no
casting.
that trailers don't show everything. That's like this is exactly the issue with people going on like Horizon Forbidden West reviewing it even though they'd never played the game because they're Xbox fanboys and they're like this game is just another typical PlayStation exclusive open world. Blah.
Comparing a 30-40 hour experience to a 2 hour experience, you can look at those completely different ways. I'm sorry.
You can't
Like,
still, but you can't review something. You can't just make up your mind about something unless you've actually seen it. Like you can say like, oh, this movie's not for me. Sure, whatever. But until you've actually seen it and experience it for yourself, it's hard to actually review it.
I can look at a 90s trailer and say this is going to be a crappy movie and be right. It is very possible. You can totally. That's the whole point of a trailer is.
Yeah, but then you also get the other side because I mean the trailer for the movie Snake Eyes, the trailer was freaking dope. The movie itself was boring. That's another thing. All the fucking Transformer movies, those trailers were out of this world, and those movies are.
I would say, yeah. I mean, the first three were good, but then after like Shia LaBeouf left, it was just like, all right, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, I have a whole other like. I understand now why those movies are bad, but I'll talk about that later. But in terms of this, comicbook.com, like they said it perfectly. Like review bombing, like weaponizing review bombing as to further some agenda is it's frustrating for the players. It's really unfair for developers who worked so hard on these games, gave us a truly great game, only to have angry gamers get all pissy and shit, and then say it's a bad game and turn other people away from it.
If gamers don't stop this, then there might be forced sanctions on how we go forward reviewing games and looking at reviews. Like you don't want it to be like, all right, well, unless you have physical proof of having a game, you can't give a review. Or unless you have a receipt on a game,
Yeah.
like I don't want sanctions on this stuff. This is a very free form community as gaming, and like gamers have been taking advantage of it with sending death threats to developers, review bombing
Seriously.
games, just being toxic in general for no reason. And so we don't need sanctions being put on. I got sanctions in my real life. I don't need sanctions in my hobbies. And I like being able to, if I really wanted to, I like being able to reach out to a developer and say, hey, this game is really cool, or hey, this game could be worked on. But
Yeah,
now you have
exactly.
publishers that are just like, I'm not on Reddit no more. I'm not on Twitter no more. Like they're avoiding the internet.
Yeah,
And
completely. Which is not great for their own development. It's not great for the gaming community in general, because
Exactly.
that kind of communication needs to be open and constructive. It doesn't need to be like toxic and everything. Now you can argue that Twitter is just a toxic wasteland, but
so is all social media platforms.
pretty much.
And
I
I
think
just don't want that to, because like you see with Battlefield 2042 is a perfect example. Now they do deserve some heat on their ass for the travesty
Oh,
that they.
yeah, no. So that's a whole other thing. And this is something that I think
But
people really need to understand, that just because you don't like something, that's totally different from like, the technical aspects of a game,
they being
So,
unplayable.
yeah, exactly. So, I was talking with this I was in like, this hot fucking Facebook debate, right?
Starting wars over here along
Seriously.
with Russia. Come on, man.
No, but seriously, I was really mad because I was like, this guy was just like riding the dick of Battlefield 2042. Battlefield in general. I'm like, no, Battlefield is a great series. 2042 is a bad game, okay? And that is 100% objectively, right? So I was telling this guy, like, look, there's so much wrong with this game on a technical level, Like, there's so many missing features. The progression arc doesn't make sense. They tied almost everything into the same progression arc, including, character skins, everything. It basically tied everything in the game into one progression arc, except for weapon attachments. That's the only thing. The weapon attachments across the board on every single gun are almost the exact same, no matter what. Like you can literally put a grenade launcher on a sniper. Like, why? It's dumb. That doesn't make sense for a sniper rifle.
I mean, that's pretty fucking cool.
It's cool, sure, but when would you actually use that? When would you actually use that? You're going to be, miles away from this guy, sniping him across the map. When the hell are you going to use a grenade launcher? Like, you can't punk across the map. That doesn't work.
It infuses into the bullet, man, and you get a grenade bullet.
Sure. But this dude was like, oh, that's your opinion. I'm like, no, these are technical criticisms about the game. Like, from a technical standpoint, the game is bad. He's like, that's your opinion. I'm like, no, you need to really, pull yourself away and realize that there's legit criticisms, objective criticisms about technical aspects of the game. And then there's opinions about how the game plays or the story bits of the game or, the operators that you don't, you know what I mean? Like the way they look or something like that. That's just opinion.
Because there's nobody alive, even the literal 2,000 player that it has right now, all know how bad the game is. Like everybody knows how bad.
I still jump in once in a while because, like, for a little bit, it's a fun game. I'm not gonna lie, it can be a fun game. There's just so much missing in the game that it doesn't keep you around for longer than like 1 or 2 matches.
Yeah, it doesn't.
In my experience.
So that's like, how do you not have like regular features that games 10 years ago?
Exactly, it doesn't make sense. Like Battlefield 4 is 10 times the game that 2042 is.
And that's also now getting an uprise in player count.
Yo, it is. And it's like on sale right now, and I'm about to just buy it because why not? It's a great game. It's an amazing freaking FPS game.
I brought that up just to say that like even the community managers for that game and the publishers, they're not like interacting with.
Oh, they're not. They're blaming Halo for the game being bad. I'm like, no, it's a bad game. Sorry, we got off on a tangent here, but this is what happens at Digital Diamond.
So I mean, I definitely agree that they need some fire under their ass. But like, if you're sending death threats and stuff like that, not cool. You got to learn how to be moderate with what you say. And they have the petition going, and it's like what 200,000 strong right now. So
yeah, if they actually make Battlefield 2042 again on tangent, they actually make that game free. I'm 100% gonna sign that petition to get a refund because that's some bullshit. How are you going to make players pay $70 for a game and then make it free in the same year? Like that's fucked. Yeah. That's messed up.
Of it free though. It wasn't the whole thing. I think it was just that portal mode or what that mode where you can like take different parts of
that mode is dope as hell. By the way, like that's super cool. I love that mode. It's just the rest of the game is booty
butt cheeks.
Butt cheeks.
I mean, and that's the thing. I think if criticism was a little bit more constructive on that game, maybe the devs would be more responsive to the community. Because like they're not saying anything now. Granted, they are lying their asses off and doing corporate mumbo jumbo. So it's just like when it comes to
there is that
releasing trash, just unplayable games, it's hard for me to defend you because it's like you kind of knew this was coming. Like look at the way
in my opinion, this whole review bombing thing is just an example of how toxic cancel culture is. Like you can like legitimately cancel someone if they're being a horrible human being, like sexual harassment, shit like that. Sure, go for it. But canceling someone or something or a game or developer just because you don't like that game is bullshit.
No, yeah, it is. Because these people would like stay up tirelessly working, not seeing their families.
Yeah.
And they want to be respected and, for their hard work. And it kind of sucks because now this is like a stain on anybody that works at DICE that might look at working for anybody else or leaving.
Or like even the developers over at, Guerrilla Games or FromSoft. And FromSoft is doing great things right now because they just raised all the salaries of their entire Japanese team. And that's amazing. That's insane. That's because Elden Ring is doing such a great job in terms of sales and player counts and shit. Like that
Yeah.
game took off. That game is huge. It took over every other release in February. Like that game took over everything. Like just a week ago, everyone was raving about Horizon Forbidden West and how gorgeous the game is, how well it plays. Sure, it has bugs and shit. Every game has bugs, you know. Like it's impossible for a game of this level to come out with zero bugs. Literally impossible because you can't plan for everything. But as soon as Elden Ring came out, it swept the nation, swept the world. Everyone's talking about it. No one will shut up about it. Everyone's playing it. And everything else just got pushed into the back. And meanwhile, I'm over here still playing Dying Light 2.
Ollie World, dog. Yo,
There you go.
this fucking Elden Ring shit out of my face, bro. I'm trying to go do some gnarly rads and meet the
Right.
snake gods, man.
Like,
come on.
I'll be the first to say I am not a FromSoft fan. You know, I'm just not. I played Bloodborne. I still have the game. I suck at that game. I can't learn it because I just, run headstrong into the game and, try to brute force my way through it. And that's not how you do it. That you can't brute force your way through Soulsborne games, So,
Yeah, it's not like Elden Ring would probably be the first Soulsborne game that I would play if I would
exactly.
any of them, just because the technical aspect of the game is so much more improved than Demon Souls or Dark Souls, where I'm not
Yeah.
gonna have to worry too much. And they've multiple reviews have touched on this. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna have to sit here and worry about crazy hitboxes or being unjustly killed after I do the dodge, do the parry, or doing whatever, just because of this like crazy jank. Like the
Yeah.
jank.
I mean, honestly, this game reminds me more of Bloodborne than anything else. And Bloodborne is probably my favorite of the Soulsborne games. I've played Bloodborne. I love the game. It's really, really good. I just suck at it. And I played, Dark Souls 2, I think. And I did not like it just because,
Hey,
I was horrible at the game. Horrible at the game. Bloodborne is the same. I got like halfway through that game and then I was just kind of rage quit on. I'm like, you know what? Nope. I'm good. I'm good. And the sad part is I quit the game when I was about like 5 or 6 bosses away from the end of it. I'm just like, no, I can't go back into it. I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But Elden Ring, like, I would probably get it. I'm probably going to end up getting on a sale just because I don't want to pay $70 to be mad.
No, exactly, and it's a lot of time in it, man.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
55 hours and you still haven't beat the game. I'm good with Dying Light. That's my time consumption
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. No, I'm still having a blast with Dying Light. And that
Yeah.
game, again, that game got swept under the rug as soon as Horizon came out. And even Sifu. Sifu was a much more toned down release for sure.
Oh yeah,
But it's
and I
just so much fun. Like, guys,
yeah,
go play Sifu. It's a little bit cheaper.
and Ollie World.
And Ali World, sure. If you're into that, like arcade skating games, for sure.
They're both $30. Go get them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that now you're showing off. I don't got a pussy over here.
My kitty
God
cat
damn
missed
it,
me.
Patrick.
My kitty cat missed me.
Yeah, clearly you needed somebody to feed him. Feed
My
her.
dad was feeding him. Anyways.
But I think that eventually sanctions are going to come. I mean, if because like they're not going to keep having.
Yeah,
this happen.
before too long, I think
Various
there's gonna be like Metacritic's gonna have to do something to control, like to tone down review bombing and make it not so easy to do. Like either they start restricting accounts when they've posted more than like 3 0-star reviews in a row or something like that. I don't know.
like
there
you can't-
needs to be something that they can do.
And that's the issue because sanctions are going to pretty much just be restricting people's free right to say whatever they want.
True.
And
Yeah. I mean,
nobody's
they're
gonna
like.
be okay with that.
Yeah,
So
no one's gonna like being censored, and I think either gamers are just gonna have to start ignoring places like Metacritic, and honestly, I think these review bombing, is really gonna just turn people away from Metacritic more than anything else.
because I mean, I if I really want to know I'll usually either do YouTube,
Yeah,
find somebody.
exactly. I think that's what most people will do. They'll look at reviews online on YouTube channels, their preferred YouTube source. Like I go to Gamer Ranks for all mine.
I usually go to the ACG.
Yeah.
And then I do Steam reviews too. Like if it's on Steam, usually people on
Well,
Steam.
even on Steam and Xbox, like these games are getting review bombed there too. So it's like, honestly, like if you want to know someone's opinion, just go on YouTube, look at their videos where they dive deep into the game. You know,
Steam generally,
don't look at all these like congregated
yeah.
review places. You know, like you're gonna get a skewed review on most games in that case.
I mean, yeah, but I also
Or look
think
at our reviews.
Steam doesn't.
We're
When we have
biased as
time
fuck
to
though.
do them. No, 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 no. We're doing biased, unbiased reviews
Yeah,
over here.
no. We look at everything and then we give our own opinion about like the story shit and everything. But then again, we only really play games that we've been looking forward to and we know we're gonna like. So of course, those are the ones that we're going to be reviewing anyways.
I
So
think
there is that. There is that.
Steam doesn't have as much clout or attention, so
That's
people that
true. That's
do
true.
those reviews are usually more genuine, I would say.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you're gonna have review bombs wherever you go, or people that are just like la, 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 But like, I think you could know where to go for more genuine ones, like YouTube or Steam,
Yeah.
pretty much. So I don't know how this is going to change or what's
I
going to
don't think it
happen.
is going to change, to be honest. I don't think we're going to see any censorship or anything like that. But
At the end of the day, like you have to wonder or think about what range of people are actually doing this because
yeah,
gaming has been
exactly.
on for like going on 5, 6 decades now. So you have like 3 generations
Of
in.
gamers. Guys, stop review bombing. Stop being toxic. Okay? You're bringing down the entire gaming community, and that's not what we need. We need, more good things to come out of the gaming community.
I kind
Because
of
gaming's
wish.
finally becoming mainstream.
I don't want that. That's horrible.
I mean, I'm 100% okay with it. I mean, God, more
Look what's
mainstream,
happening.
more mainstream means more attention to games, mean more funding for games, means more better technology, better games. That's
It
great.
means it means more. It's also there's also a dark side, sir. It
Oh
means
yeah, there is.
more NFTs, more toxicity, more
I don't think
greed.
NFTs are gonna, you know, like become that big of an issue at all. I mean, everyone was talking about them for a while, and then they just kind of faded in the background. They're just gonna fade into obscurity. There's just gonna be a couple people trying to do it. It's like crypto.
Once Ubisoft and Square Enix gets theirs going, and Konami already said that they're going to be spearheading forward.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
I miss gaming being more niche because it was just more genuine.
True. No, that's totally fair. That's
It
one
wasn't all
hundred
these
percent fair.
companies putting out DLC paywalls in their games where like half the game is behind a paywall. It's like you
Yeah,
didn't have.
that like yeah, no, yeah. The golden age of gaming. We're in like I don't know if gaming is going downhill or not, but that's a whole other conversation to have.
I
But
always
yeah,
think
the
we're in the
golden peak
middle.
of gaming was like 2010.
Yeah, I think we're kind of sliding down. I mean, we have some. It's like going in a wave now, where it's
Yeah, it
like
is. It is.
this year and next year are going to be really good.
Oh
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
I
then
mean, we're seeing less microtransactions across the board. We're seeing
yeah,
more games coming out that's like the full game. EA's really been taking a step back in terms of their microtransactions and paid expansions
and
and
now Call
stuff.
of Duty's. Oh, hallelujah!
Yeah, seriously, Call of Duty is going to like every other year releases. They're delaying the next game to 2023.
Oh,
So yeah, gaming is
so
finally starting to calm down a bit and get a little bit more, steady, which is great, which is what we want to see. But then you got all these gamers review bombing shit that's going to throw it all into whack again. So
and this brought up a good argument. It's like as long as people are behind the screen and you don't have any responsibility,
yeah,
what you say this is going to
exactly.
you
But
have some people.
that's never going to change, ever.
Some people petitioning that
So
you should have something like personal attached to your internet persona or your internet whatever. Like
yeah, but the beauty
some,
of the internet is that you can be
yeah.
anonymous, anonymous. Among Us.
Oh, oh, I I don't know how this is gonna get rectified. Honestly,
I don't think it will. I think, like I said, people just need to stop paying attention to congregated reviews. places. So sorry, Metacritic, but
Metacritic, Reddit,
yeah.
probably stay away from it.
I mean, yeah, yeah. At some point, like I said, just go to YouTube, look at individual reviews, look at our reviews, and go from there. Honestly.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, you can trust. Not to say you can trust YouTube, but YouTube is going to have a little
No,
bit more.
yeah, it's a little bit more tame because you can look at
These people
individual
are,
opinions instead of just people yelling at a screen.
yeah, people are doing this to feed their families, and they want to be accurate and truthful, so
Yeah,
they can get
exactly.
people. And you know,
Look at
they're doing.
look at game ranks. Go on, if you want some indie stuff, horror stuff, go on like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, because they play a lot of indie horror games that
Yeah.
they genuinely love. Look at our reviews, of course. IGN even has a good amount of unbiased reviews for the most part. They do their best.
Oh, their reviews are done. Their reviews have been done for 10 years.
Some of the reviews, it depends who is reviewing. Because I was talking about this before too. It really depends who is doing the review. Because there's some guys on IGN that do reviews better than others. So
I'm done with IGN for reviews. If they have like the
that's why I just watch Game Ranks for all my before you buys and stuff. I go to them, but yeah, even if I know I'm going to buy a game, I still go to them to see what's up because Jake Baudino and Falcon are always really genuine about their opinions about something. So,
Usually, yeah,
that's great. I love them to death.
And yeah, ACG is really good. They do like 20-minute reviews, not unfiltered, unbiased, not unbiased, but like not sponsored.
Yeah.
And so
I always feel like sponsored games like they come with a bias because, well, yeah, they're sponsored, so they're getting paid to play the game and review the game. It's like, so you kind of have to say it's good, right? That's why I usually don't watch any of the sponsored videos by Jacksepticeye or Markiplier when they get sponsored by Epic Games or EA or something like that to play a game. I'm like, no, because this is going to be kind of skewed.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I mean, guys, what do you guys think about the whole review bombing thing that's going on? Let us know your thoughts and come hang out with us next time at the Proper Gaming Talk Show. I don't know how to end that. I'm trying to keep it more chill, but
Peace out. Keep chasing your dreams, y'all.
absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notified whenever this video goes live. Share this video with all your friends, family, colleagues, and strange cousins. And we'll see you guys in the next Proper Gaming Talk Show.